so I know when I'm doing it live. We're doing it live. And are we live? Yes, we are. Okay. We are live tonight. Hollywoke Hot Take Live, where we do it live. And we'll be talking about 7 o'clock. We'll be talking about Vigilante movies. So, did we do this one before? I don't think we did. But if we did, it's a fun topic. I'm not sure if we did this one before or I thought about doing this and never got around to it. Maybe we did Revenge. I don't remember. Anyhow, while we wait until some people get in here, Joan, and talk about the weekend. What did I do this weekend? Well, Thursday I went to the Vineland Library, did a talk there. Went well. And then yesterday I was at Cassiano's in Hamilton, New Jersey, in the sun all day. So I'm still a little fried from that. Man, nothing will make me more tired than sitting in the sun all day. That night you get home and it's like you worked all day. I don't know. I'm the opposite of Superman. Like the sun just drains me of energy. And then I got home and man, when I finally went to bed, I hit the pillow and I was out. I mean, I was out, Joan. Joan, you got to stay a little while. Let some people get here, Joan. See your cute face. Nobody wants to miss cute little Joan. Here. Stinky Joan. If they could smell you, they wouldn't miss you as much. Whew. That's some breath there. That's some stinky breath. Did you enjoy walkies? Maybe we'll go when it's cooler, because you kind of conked out. 85 degrees. She's due for a haircut and a bath. Joan. Yuck. Walking around and stuff, Joan. Walking around. So she just kind of stops when she doesn't want to walk anymore. Just kind of says, screw this. Pick me up. Pick me up. And that's what I do. And then I am dog carrier. So Cassiano's was fun. That was the Hamilton Food Truck Festival. A lot of good food. I didn't get to eat any of it, but I got to see it walk by me. That was mildly torturous. It's like, oh man, that looks so good. Then I finally asked somebody, how much that sandwich cost you? And he was like $17. And I was like, oof, that's a lot of money for a sandwich. And it was decent sized, but it wasn't like back in the day, man, $17. I would have gotten a sandwich longer than my keyboard for $17. These days, I mean, 17's a lot for a sandwich, I think. When you think about it. I mean, and if, God forbid, you get ripped off. Now, his was a pretty high-end gourmet sandwich. He raved about it. He said it was delicious. But still seems rather high. Rather high. But everything's rather high these days, Joan. Everything. Right? Anyhow. What else is going on? That's about it, really. That's about it. Next week, next Sunday, I'll be doing the Philadelphia Comic Con. That's it's a fairly regular local show. If you've in the Philly area, you've probably seen me there. Done it pretty much every year for years. Derek, good guy, runs the show, and I'll be seeing the usual crew at his show and the usual fans. Be good to see them. He doesn't let me do it all the time. He just, he likes to space it out. I can't blame him. I do that show every month. It's pretty good for me, but you gotta mix it up. Joan, what the hell did you walk through walkies? What the hell did you eat? Why the hell do you smell this way? Anyhow, let's put little Joan down. There you go. All right. She'd rather sit on the floor. This time of year, floor is, 4 degrees cooler, I guess. So tonight's theme is Vigilante movies. Why is it Vigilante movies? Well, I thought we'd do it in honor of The Punisher. You probably saw my video on The Punisher, and if you haven't heard, Marvel Comics killed The Punisher. Ha ha ha. Ha ha ha. And I laugh because nobody in comics really dies. But a lot of people were very upset. To which I say, I get it. Yet another thing the woke morons destroyed. But they're going to destroy a lot of things, especially in media, because we allowed them to run the media. Yeah, I had a hand in that. I didn't see it coming either. I mean, who knew? Who knew these people would be that, I don't know, money grubbing, I guess, and stupid and cowardly. I mean, I knew they were stupidly and cowardly, but you figure there are limits to that. Yeah. These people, there's no limit to the depths they'll sink, I think. And I think we've only just begun to see the depths of their sinkage. Because I really do think Hollywood is leaving Southern California. I think they're going to make some good attempts to restart the movie industry in Las Vegas and Texas. Oh, Arden is here. Hail and hello. Franken Punisher was a mistake. Well, Punisher was a mistake. And I'll tell you my theory. My theory is this, and I've heard this many times from various comic people, that really the Punisher was Mac Bolan, the Executioner. The comic guys, and look, the comic guys did this all the time. They would see, more, God, you guys are coming fast and furious. Media are stupid and money grubbing. Lot. Read in Batman voice for full effects. Media and stupid are a money grubbing lot. Corey Sosner is here. Hello, Corey. Love Frankencastle. It was great. I don't know. I didn't read that. My favorite Punisher. Yes, he was, says Corey. My favorite Punisher comic was The Punisher Kills the Marvel Universe. But I've heard that the Punisher was really Mac Bolan, and he was taken from a series of novels by Corey says Marvel stole it. Fact. Series of novels by Don Pendleton, and they started in 1969. Now, to some extent, I don't blame the comic guys, because at the time they kind of borrowed from movies and TV shows of that era, and that's the kind of thing it was in the 70s and early 80s. They were just grinding through stuff for the characters. It wasn't about, like taking over anything. It wasn't about IPs. It was, but the only, Spider-Man and the key ones. And no one foresaw the downstream effect of this. No one really saw it. So to some extent, I can't totally blame the comic guys of that era, but, you'd think they would give the guy some credit. Ardent, does that make Iron Fist Remo Williams? No, I don't think so. Although they are very similar. I don't know. I don't know what would predate. Remo Williams, I think, was later. Let's see. Remo Williams. Now here's the character. From the Destroyer #1, that's 1971. Iron Fist. Iron Fist TV series based on the Marvel character. Iron Fist premiered 1974, so maybe that may be the case. You may have cracked that case, Arden. Corey, Pendleton didn't sue because it wasn't as big as it was until after he died. Spoke to his wife. She's upset. Marvel would sue your A off. So what's good for the goose is good for the gander. Yeah, maybe now she could. I don't know how old she is. She's probably kind of up there. It's not great. And look, as far as Remo Williams goes, I don't think the design would be the same. I don't think Remo Williams looked like this. But I think Mac Bolan was pretty similar, except for the logo. Corey. Okay, so let's get to the list. T. Oh, JEC is here. Hi, hi, hi. All right. Yeah, let's get to the list. Clint Eastwood films. Which one? Everybody, calm down. Let's start with some basic list. All right. So we'll start with a stupid list. Screen Rant, I'm sure, is very stupid, but let's see. 10 best vigilante films. Let's see what they say. All right. Born Losers, 1967. Iconic screen character of Billy Jack makes his first appearance. It's a little before my time. I don't remember that one. Ardent, Josie. Yeah, Outlaw Josie Wales. We'll get to him. Yeah, it's more Western than Vigilante, but Vigilante, Western, they're kind of very similar. The Exterminator. I don't know this one. It's crazy. A guy with a flamethrower. It's a good name. Death Wish. That would be my first thought. Corey, I thought this was your list. Corey, Billy Jack is good. I like to go through the other list and judge them. Death Wish, 1974. Yes, I would definitely put this on the list. I mean, to me, this is classic vigilanteism. It has all the elements because he's avenging a crime, a very specific crime. To me, vigilante is more, if you're taking out the Western stuff, this is classic vigilanteism. Death Wish 2, 1982. Kick-Ass. Well, it's superheroes, but it does have an element of the vigilanteism in it because it does try to ground it in reality somewhat. I did really enjoy Hit Girl in this movie. I thought she was pretty great. It was okay. It was fun. I think Hit Girl really missed her opportunity to be an action star. I think, I don't know why Hollywood didn't put her in some action roles because I thought her moves in this movie were really good. I mean, I thought she was jumping all over the place, kicking everybody's butt. I would have liked to have seen her been like a Lara Croft or one of these action-y characters. Corey, stop. Western can be vigilante films. Oh, of course they can. They are. Many of them are. I mean, most of them are. But I'm just saying, like, if you're going to take the West, I mean, you end up sucked into the Western. Miss 45. I've heard of this movie, but I don't think I ever saw it. 1981. Old Boy. Old Boy? Yeah, Old Boy's vigilante. I mean, there's so many. Falling Down. Ooh, I love this movie. I really do. And it's Joel Schumacher. JEC. She was in a bunch of action movies and they all failed. Well, she was in the second Kick-Ass. And then she was in that terrible Dark Shadows movie. And I don't know. They just... I mean, why wouldn't they give her a big movie? I guess that's why. Corey, so many good vigilante movies. Yeah. I mean, the whole premise of a vigilante movie, so you can always get behind it. Corey, Star Chamber could have been so good. Ending sucked. I believe that's on one of these lists. But I'm still shocked to this day that Falling Down was directed by Joel Schumacher. It's very strange to me. But it was a good movie. Vigilante. It's a bit on the nose. Bit on the nose for the list, but I'll allow it. Magnum Force. Oh, that's Dirty Harry, right? Yeah, that's Dirty Harry. Yeah, that's a good movie. JC, she was in that WW2 Gremlins movie on a plane. Yeah, that didn't look like an I mean, is that an action movie? Really? Didn't seem like one. She seemed wildly in over her head in that movie. It seemed stupid and dumb. I meant like a movie where she, I don't know, was like a spy or something. Ardent, Bat Nips did Falling Down. Yeah, Bat Nips did Falling Down. I know. It's shocking. At least they did one good movie. Magnum Force. So yeah. Dirty Harry. I mean, classic. Taxi Driver. I love Taxi Driver. Now, it's kind of really on the bubble there in terms of a vigilante movie because, is Travis a good guy or a bad guy? You know, that's what's so great about Taxi Driver. It kind of like it hits so many. It's like right on the line with so many different genres. It's a vigilante movie, but it's kind of also about a crazy guy, and then Man on Fire. Yeah. All right, that was 10 from Screen Rant. That wasn't a bad list for Screen Rant. I thought Screen Rants would be stupid. Man on Fire is The Punisher. Yeah. Many of these movies are Punisher. 25 furious vigilante films. Here's The Crow. I would definitely put him on the list. Although, again, kind of superhero-y. Death Wish again. Darkman. Oh, I love Darkman. Darkman's cool. And he's almost not a superhero, but he's kind of is. Ardent the Professional is a vigilante flick. Yeah. Yeah. Kind of bleeds into the whole, assassins sort of subgenre. But yeah. There's always, I think there's really a subgenre of vigilante where it's always like, he's a hitman, but he's got a heart of gold, and now he's going to kill all the bad guys for some reason. Corey Sosner, The Crow is the best graphic novel movie. The graphic novel is, I think, far superior. I wonder if they're going to go closer to the graphic novel this time around. I mean, the graphic novel is really great. I don't think they will, though. I think they'll betray the ending again and try to keep it as a franchise. Billy Jack on his own there. The Boondock Saints, classic, fun. The Exterminator, again. Taxi Driver, again. Savage Streets. Vaguely remember this movie when it came out. I vaguely remember the posters. Corey, they're supposed to. Yeah. Falling Down. There you go. High Plains Drifter. High Plains Drifter. Clint Eastwood. Yeah. Classic. Crow comic is pretty close. Oh. Vigilante. Would you put the Warriors on this list? Because that still reminds me of the Warriors. Is the Warriors a vigilante movie? Nah, I guess not. Because they're kind of criminals. Ardent Boondock Saints is a favorite. Yep. So much fun. Fighting Back. Oh, I've never seen this one, but that title is definitely vigilante-esque. Here's Kick-Ass. Mad Max. Is Mad Max a vigilante movie? Corey says no on that. On the Warriors. Yeah, it's not. It's not. Corey Sostner loved the Warriors, but no, it's a gang film. You're correct. And Mad Max, is it a vigilante movie? Yeah, I guess technically it is because he does kind of. Well, let's see. In the first movie, this is the first movie. Yeah, because he's taken the law into his own hands. Even though he's a cop, he goes too far. But it's also a dystopian movie. So it's both. It's like a dystopian vigilante movie. Especially the first one. Yeah. JC, the first Mad Max, you can make a case even though Max is a cop. Yeah. No, he by the end. And everything's breaking down. Corey, well, his family gets killed in the first Mad Max, and it was very low production. Yeah. Die Hard, yes, would be vigilante. Yeah, because he goes, I think, far beyond what a cop would do, right? Yeah, I think he does. I mean, because he hunts those guys. He is in California. You're not allowed to do that. Corey, Mad Mac. I know what you mean, Corey. Here it is, Man on Fire. Tony Scott. It's a good flick. Magnum Force again. Taken. Yes. I would say Taken's a vigilante. Right? Yeah, because he's going outside the law. He didn't give a crap. V for Vendetta. Yes. Yeah. Because he is definitely outside the law. It's just that the law in that movie is an authoritarian state. So, yeah. 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 I would say that's Vigilante movie. I mean, it's also a dystopian movie like Mad Max. Corey, great film. Man on Fire. I mean, Denzel Washington is good in those roles. Coffee. Didn't see that. Death Sentence. Oh man, don't remember this movie with Kevin Bacon? When his son is killed, this family are targeted by a street gang. Nick Hume tracks down the killers and exacts brutal revenge. That sounds like a vigilante movie to me. Kill Bill? Kill Bill. Yes? I don't know. Magnificent Seven. Yes. Yes. More of a, yeah, again, that's the Western, right? But Kill Bill, she is an ex-criminal, goes after criminals, but it's really just to avenge who? Herself, I guess, and her master, other people who have died, I guess. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's kind of a gray area whether she's a good guy, I guess, but she kind of is. Just kills criminals. Quarry, Death Sentence is a great film. I've never even heard of that movie. Have to check that out. Ardent, I would say no to Kill Bill. That's more of a revenge. JC, Kill Bill is more of a revenge movie. Corey, they have a one-shot, one-take that follows the parking lot. It's a must-watch just for that scene. Bacon is great in this. Oh, that sounds cool. Yeah, Kill Bill. Yeah, I guess. Well, I mean, then we got to make the distinction between a revenge film and a vigilante film. I guess with the vigilante, what you'd have to say is it has to be someone who is definitely going outside the law, right? Because a vigilante is outside the law. She's definitely doing that. So, but I don't think she's really restoring the law. I think a vigilante is trying to like take the place of law and order, right? So they're doing it in a brutal way that's illegal. So like Judge Dredd wouldn't be a vigilante movie unless you find a movie where Dredd goes outside the law, but he never does. That's kind of his character. So with her, yeah, I guess you would make the case that she is not attempting to impose law and order on the world through her revenge. I guess that would be the qualifier there. You'd have to be imposing law and order as a de facto kind of entity. Sin City. Some of this is vigilante. Some of it, I think, is not. There's like a lot going on in that movie. And everybody's so corrupt. I feel like this is more of a noir film. Corey, normal guy dad who goes postal becomes a full-on maniac. His character change is incredible. Go watch it. You'll love it. Death Sentence. Oh, that does. You're really selling me on this Death Sentence. I don't know how I missed it. I mean, 2007. I was watching movies then. F.O. Sin City. I don't know. I like Sin City. I'm trying to remember what the hell happens in it. That's a part of the problem with it. I remember more about the comics than I do about the movies. Probably because the visuals were so, obnoxious, I'll say. So I remember Bruce Willis being the corrupt cop. There's really no main character in it. I guess I would disqualify that one. So many characters floating around. It's more of a more of a concept film than anything else. It's just vigilanteism is an element in it, I would say. I wouldn't call it a vigilante film. The Punisher Warzone. This is the guy who died, right? This is the actor who just recently died? Yeah, Ray Stevenson. Poor guy. Ardent, the child molester one in Sin City might count. Yeah, that's the one Marv goes after, I think. Corey, dude, it's one of my favorite revenge films. It's one of Kevin B's finest performance. I'm going to watch it now. I have to watch it now. Corey says. Punisher Warzone. This is Razor Fist's favorite Punisher movie. Love Sin City film noir. Not really. Old Boy. There you go. Yeah. Yeah, I would agree with Old Boy. He's kind of trying to impose order and get revenge. Kind of leans into revenge, though, but what happens to him is so messed up. Batman. Any Batman film, The Dark Knight. Sure. I mean, he is, by definition, a vigilante. So, and because he doesn't have superpowers, I would say, sure. He's not really a superhero, technically. He's really a vigilante, just very close to a superhero. Kind of like the best vigilante. See, list, crime, list, revenge, vigilante. So it's kind of covers a lot of places. Here's 18 great vigilante movies from Film School Rejects. Now, these are a bit obscure. I checked out this list earlier. In no particular order, The Fist of Fury. God, it's been ages since I saw this thing. I do not remember what the hell happens. But, probably? Because most of these 70s movies were kind of like that. That's a one upside to us going back to the 70s. By the end of this decade, we're going to see a ton of these movies. Ardent, Blind Fury, Hobo with a Shotgun. I mean, Hobo with a Shotgun, I don't know. Is he really trying to impose law and order? He's not, but I think the characters are. God, what the hell's the plot of that movie? Corey, love Ray's take on Warzone, but film sucks. Killing's great. Ardent, if I remember right, Bruce Lee's sister or cousin gets sick from bad cocaine or... Coffee again. White Line Fever, Jan Michael Vincent. Yeah, I think that's a vigilante one. This is a classic sort of 70s story where the veteran returns home, and then there's a lot of stories like that. The veteran turns home, and where they live is a mess, and criminals have taken over, and they use all their military training to, bring back law and order. Usually against the mob. Vigilante Force, well, pretty much right in the title there. Rolling Thunder. Yeah. William McVane. I always liked him as an actor. I really love him in Marathon Man, but I love everything about Marathon Man. Marathon Man is such a good movie. Not a vigilante movie, but just the best. Harry? Michael Caine? Oh, God. Another movie I haven't seen in like 20, 30 years. Exterminator again. Defiance. Jan Michael Vincent. I think I saw this movie. God. So old these movies are. Miss 45 again. Fighting Back. Tom Skerritt. I never heard of this one. And then I saw this picture and I'm like, oh, that's Tom Skerritt. He was actually not old in a movie once. Look at that. Although he still kind of looks old even in this picture. 82. Look at the jowls on that dude. He's an average guy who's happily married, owner of his own small business in Philadelphia. He doesn't like the increasing crime he's seen around him. After his own family is victimized, he decides to fight back. See, that, to me, that's a vigilante pitch right there. Vigilante. Gotta include. There you go, Star Chamber. I remember seeing the trailer for this in the 80s, but I didn't want to go see it. And I never did. I don't think I ever saw it. Pale Rider. Classic. Rolling Vengeance. Oh, Ned Beatty's in this. It's 87. Don't remember that. Punisher, 1989. Look, Dolph Lundgren's Punisher was watchable. I'll say that. It was a movie from beginning to end. It's not a good movie, though. I don't know if it belongs on any list, really. But this is a pretty decent-sized list, maybe. Boondock Saints, yes. God Bless America. Yeah, I saw this. This is Joel Murray. Oh, there's Hobo with a shotgun. If you haven't seen God Bless America, it's actually kind of crazy. So it's Joel Murray and this hot chick go on a tear to just shoot a bunch of people who are just a-holes. Some people from TV. It's kind of like a satire on American society. So it's like a satire vigilante movie. Showdown in Little Tokyo? Sure. Hobo with a shotgun. I Spit on Your Grave 3, Vengeance is Mine. How could you skip the first two? I believe I Spit on Your Grave was a woman who takes revenge on the men who attacked her. JC belongs on the list of Punisher movies that exist. That's about it, though. Yeah, that's the first one, right? The Dolph Lundgren one is the first one, I think. I don't think they made one before that. And that's the end of that list. All right, now the big list. The list you've been waiting for. IMDb list of 100 vigilante movies rated this time by the IMDb score. All right, so we got 100 here. Number 100, Hollow Point. Don't know that one. It's from 2019. Rockaway. Don't know that one. The pitch sounds about right. Blood Out. Is that Jean-Claude Van Damme? No, it's Val Kilmer's in it. Vinnie Jones and 50 Cent. Ardent, Lundgren was first. No Skull. No Skull. Yeah, that's... The movie would have been 20% better if they just gave him the damn shirt. Right? If he had just been wearing the shirt the whole movie, that movie would have been 20% better. It would have been like, oh, that was a decent Punisher movie. Because they took the shirt off of him, they ruined it. Basically. Officer Down. I've never heard of these movies. The Gunman. Death Kiss. Death Kiss. Robert Bronzi's in it. Is he he's the guy I think that looks like Bronson, isn't he? Ardent, LOL. Substitute 3, Winner Take All. And of course, that stars Treat Williams. Treat Williams has house payments. Let's greenlight Substitute 3, Winner Takes All. I mean, is there a lower than B-rated movie? That is it C, D-rated movie? God, when did this come out? 1999 TV movie. On what channel? No idea. The Substitute again. Failure is not an option. 2001. It's about a former mercenary who returns once again as a substitute teacher. Oh, it's the fourth Substitute movie. I guess. Why are substitute teachers the stars of vigilante movies? Here you go. Walking Tall, The Payback, 2007. Ardent, TNT. Yeah, that sounds like a TNT movie. Walking Tall. That's kind of a remake. I mean, they already made that movie. Corey, Class of 1984. Final Girl. Yup Man. No idea of these movies. Barracuda. That sounds familiar. It's a vengeance theme story. Fresh take on sexual perversions. No thanks. Walking Tall, 2007, Lone Justice. IMDb picks like movies that have only in the last 20 years, it seems. Where are the old movies, IMDb? While She Was Out, I guess the problem is the website's only been up so long. Girls Against Boys, Death Wish, The Face of Death, finally makes the list. This is 1994. The Face of Death. I guess this is the last one, 1994. When did Bronson die? Man, gross. 1.7 million. That probably had to be the last one. Corey, that's a good one. Teacher Goes Mental, class of 1984. I don't know if that's going to be on the list, but we'll see. Hawk's Vengeance. Who's Hawk? Eric Hall, a British Hawk, a British Marine. Oh. Yeah, I guess. Never heard of this movie. 1996. Juncture. Proud Mary. 2018. Sounds like a movie that should have been made in like 1967, doesn't it? The Sweeper, 1996. Sweet Karma. The Substitute 2, School's Out. Feels like one guy made this list, right? And he happened to see all the Substitute movies and kind of liked them and put them on his list. Cottonmouth. That one sounds familiar. Recoil. Is that Danny Trejo? Yes, Danny Trejo versus Cold Stone Steve Austin for 2011. Okay. Vengeance, a love story. Is that Nick Cage? It is Nick Cage. 2017. Guess that was during that era where Nick Cage kind of lost all his money, or is in that? I guess in the Ponzi scheme, and he was kind of just making every film that came down the pike. Corey, Weapon of Choice. Heard that's a great one in pre-production. Yeah, I heard that was great too, Corey. So Nick Cage makes the list at number 76. I never heard of this movie. I'm banking on that it's probably pretty bad. Most of these movies don't look great, but they're probably watchable if you like these kinds of movies like I do, because at least there's some action. At least you can always count on sort of the events, first act, something terrible happens. The second act, the guy's avenging left and right. And then the third act, there's a big fight. Ardent, The Perfect Weapon, Jeff Speakman. I've heard of that movie. Here's one called Stress to Kill. Armand Asante's in it. I bet he's the bad guy. But he's listed first. He might be the actual lead on this thing. The Fourth Angel, Jeremy Irons, I guess. Forrest Whitaker. Who's the guy seeking justice? A man seeks justice after his wife and two daughters are gunned down in a terrorist attack. Jason Priestley, Brianni Glasgow. So out of Jeremy Irons, Forrest Whitaker, and Jason Priestley, I wonder who the lead is. I would place my money on Jason Priestley because he'd probably be the most handsome and youngest one in that lineup. It's 2001, but it could be Jeffrey Irons and it could be Forrest Whitaker. Although Forrest Whitaker always plays like the cop in this movie, this kind of movie, I think. Badasses on the Bayou. Well, I like the title. Jimmy Hollywood. Who the hell's in that? Joe Pesci? Christian Slater. 1994. At least we're going back in time a little bit. One Man's Justice. Don't know that. Oh, stars Brian Bosworth. Remember him? Remember Brian Bosworth? The Boz. I guess this was the other movie he made. I remember, I think he made a movie called The Boz or something with Boz in it. And then I guess he made this, and I don't know, maybe a handful of other B movies. Didn't seem to go anywhere. Took his shot, though. He took his shot. Ardent, Ghost Dog, not Vigilante, but a good Whitaker role. I like Ghost Dog. He is good in that. Acts of Violence. Who's in that? Bruce Willis. Oh, I thought it was Bruce Willis. This has got to be one. Yeah, 2018 Bruce Willis. It's probably not going to be good. Cole Hauser, son of Wings Hauser, by the way. His father has teed him up to be a big-time movie star. Badass. Danny Trejo. Oh, here we go. Death Wish 4, The Crackdown, 1987. This is probably, you know, when things are starting to really fray on the Death Wish franchise. Corey, garbage. Which movie's garbage? Ghost Dog or Death Wish 4? JC, I don't get Ghost Dog. Kind of drags. Feels like it goes nowhere. I don't know. I kind of like it. I mean, it's not like an action movie. It's supposed to be like a guy. This list is straight up crapola. Yeah, so far. So far. But I think they stayed away from the westerns. I think they put all those western. I think all the westerns we like wouldn't be on this list. They tried to stay away from them. Extreme Justice. It's nothing. Closure. A Real American Hero. Avenger. Badasses 2. Outlaw. The Final Chapter. Walking Tall. 1997. Okay. Now this was the original Walking Tall franchise. This I remember. Got to skip to top 25. We just got to some good ones. Wait, The Exterminator. I'll go faster. Vigilante. Leela and Eve. Death Wish 3. 85. Not as bad as the Death Wish 4. Ardent. Sam Jackson, Gina Davis. Long Kiss Goodnight. I love that movie, but I don't think it's a Vigilante movie. Corey, all this list straight up dung. Angel, I remember that movie. It's bad. Miss Meadows, MFA, Death Wish 2. Death Wish 2, pretty good. I mean, compared to Death Wish 1, not as good. Night Hunter, The Organization, 1971. Walking Tall Part 2. Again, not good as the first one, but decent. Bloodline. The original The Substitute from 1996. A Man Apart. Righteous Kill. Terrible effing movie. That should be at the bottom of the list. Taken 3. Not great. Terrible. Some of those other movies are better. Seeking Justice. Hobo with a Shotgun. Out for Justice. Boondock Saints 2. Nah. Taken 2 was okay. Walking Tall remake with Dwayne Johnson. No. Probably sucks. Star Chamber, the original, number 38. The Principal. I remember that. 1987. That was around the time of the class of 1984, if I'm not mistaken. Death Wish remake. I think that's the one with Bruce Willis. The trailer looked fine. Except, you know, it's late Bruce Willis. It's Bruce Willis of 2018. John Doe, Vigilante. Don't know that one. Peppermint. Noise. Edge of Darkness. Derailed. Sudden Impact. That's a good one. All right, now we're into the top 30. Sudden Impact. Okay. Definitely watchable. Defender. The Brave One. Death Sentence. There you go. Number 27. It's only rated 6.7, but you sold me on it. The Equalizer 2. This is the Denzel Washington one. I thought this was okay. This is the one in the Home Depot, I think. Roadhouse. 1989 Roadhouse. Is he a vigilante? I guess. Yeah. It's weird to call that a vigilante movie. Boy Wonder. Don't know that. We're in the top 25 now. Four Brothers. Walking Tall, the original, from 1973. Okay, that's a good movie. Death Wish, the original, 1974. All right, now we're in the good stuff, finally. Number 20, I don't feel at home in this world anymore. I have no idea what that is. Skins, no idea. Walking Tall, 1981. Corey, horrible Bruce Willis Death Wish. Yeah, it was not. I bet it would have been great if Bruce had been better, I'll say. God Bless America. That is watchable. I like that movie. There's Harry Brown, 2009. That's the Michael Caine movie I think you were talking about earlier. Four Brothers was good, says Ardent. Magnum Force, number 15. The First Equalizer with Denzel, number 14. Straw Dogs, number 13, 1971. Corey, Roadhouse over Death Sentence, LOL, F off. Law Abiding Citizen. That's, I don't know, man. It's a little high up there for a Gerard Butler movie. Ardent, yep. Munich? What the hell is Munich up here for? Munich shouldn't even be on this list. This is not a vigilante movie. Dead Man's Shoes, don't know that. Falling Down, it's number 9. Kick-Ass, number 8. It's a little high for Kick-Ass. I would have brought that down. Boondock Saints, number 7, sure. Man on Fire, number 6, okay. Taken, number 5, okay. Corey, No, S Script. Gran Torino. Oh, I forgot about that movie. That is a very good movie. I love Gran Torino. Where's the rest of Clint Eastwood's movies? Should be a bunch of Clint Eastwood movies on this. Not just the Westerns, but all the Dirty Harrys. Did we even get through all of them? Taxi Driver, number 3. Django Unchained? Dumb. Again, this is a weird list. And then, why is Dexter on top? You put Dexter on top? It's not even a movie, you morons. Well, that was a terrible list. All right, let's do our own list. All right. Yeah, I know, Munich. Vigilantes. I mean, it makes no sense, Corey. Straw Dogs was great. All right, let's come up with our own list. Everybody nominate a movie, and I'll read them. Pick your one vigilante movie that you feel embodies vigilanteism. Embodies the vigilante. So we want someone who is imposing outside the law, but imposing the law and order in his own way. And I mean, if you got to say a Western, say a Western, I guess. But I think we want to stay away from Westerns for this particular list, but okay. So Arden says Boondock Saints. That's a respectable choice. I like that. Corey, just put Clint Eastwood in there. Best vigilante ever. Yeah, I would. Gran Torino, definitely. The first Dirty Harry. Or Death Wish. Corey, stupidest list I've ever seen. Corey, Pale Rider. Yes. Classic movie. My favorite Clint Eastwood Western would be Unforgiven. But would that be Vigilante? Yeah, that would be Vigilante because he is imposing law and order. But Pale Rider. JC, Death Wish. Yeah, these are all respectable choices. So they would all go in the top 5 right there, I think. Along with Man on Fire, probably The Punisher Warzone for the best Punisher movie. And you know what? You know what should have been on this list? Shaft. Where's Shaft and a lot of the movies from the 70s, the blaxploitation movies, they were very vigilante. I thought a lot of them. Because there was always a guy who would come back from the war using his skills to clean up his neighborhood. So I think those should have been included. But I'll say this for the IMDb. They're rating this list according to when they started, right? So the IMDb really didn't start until the late 90s before they had a rating system. Uh, JEC, High Plains Drifter is my favorite Eastwood movie. Corey, any Eastwood Western from his Man with No Name to Unforgiven, exactly. Ardent, Forgot Shaft, Action Jackson too. Mm-hmm. Um, yeah, but like IMDb didn't really start this rating system. I mean, the IMDb probably didn't start until the late '90s, and probably had a rating system like after that. So you've got all these movies from prior to that that probably never even, probably not even on their radar. Now that I think about it, Shaft really is. Yeah, I mean, that's like to me, the urban setting for vigilante movies feels key to me. Now, you've got the Walking Tall movies, which are kind of like almost a subgenre of the vigilante movies. They're more like the good old boy vigilante movie. Clint Miller, I got your Shaft right here. Wait, they came out all wrong. Hello, everybody. Hello, Clint. Welcome to the live stream. Corey, not a vigilante. You're saying Shaft's not a vigilante? I don't know. I think he's a vigilante, right? Not. I don't. I didn't see the Samuel L. Jackson one, but I mean, he's imposing law and order on a lawless society outside the law, right? But in terms of the Punisher, though, I know a lot of people are upset by that. Ardent, next of kin, Swayze. Um, you know, what happened to the Punisher is sad, but I think, you know, with any character in the corporate monolith like Marvel and now Disney, it's going to be ruined. I mean, it's just going to be ruined. They're going to squeeze every dollar out of it and ruin the damn thing. They're not going to keep it consistent. If they can make a dollar putting the Punisher in a dress, they'll do it. If they can make a dollar, you know, making the Punisher a bad guy from Germany, they'll do it. Clint Miller, The Equalizer, yes. Yes. And that's just the reality of corporate guys gobbling up everything. Corey Sosner, IMDb sucks. Next of kin is more of a vigilante than Roadhouse. Yeah. If what I'm remembering of that movie. God, it's been so long. But yeah, with the corporate guys, there's just nothing you can do. Once it's, you know, the Punisher's fate was sealed the moment Marvel was sold as a corporation, right? So, I don't know if you remember the early run of Spawn, but Todd McFarlane got Dave Sim to do an issue of Spawn. It's a great issue of Spawn if you ever get a chance to see it. I forget what number it is. But it's a metaphor for owning your own character, right? The whole issue is about that, and it has his character Cerebus in it, and he meets Spawn, and there's a scene where he goes into a jail cell, and inside the jail, you just see the arms of all the superhero characters, and they all got their arms stretched out, and they're trapped, and there's nothing you could do for them. Basically, Cerebus tells Spawn, "There's nothing you could do for these characters. They're trapped, and they'll forever be trapped in those, you know, in those prisons." And he's right. It's those characters they're just corporate assets now. There's nobody behind them. Yeah, you could hire a good guy to write them for a while, but eventually, JC says issue 10. Yeah, I thought it was something like that, 10 or 9. I was thinking. Ardent, they did make him a black man at one point in the books. Who? Who did they make black? The Punisher or Spawn? Spawn was always black. Corey, Shaft is a vigilante like James Bond is. Really? He's a spy? Ardent, next of kin is why government should be terrified of attempting to take guns away from rural people who live in places like West Virginia's hills. JC, you've ever read Cerebus, Tony? Yes, I have. I read most of the run. I read most of the fun stuff. Once he started to get really brainy, it kind of slowed down for me, and I never got to the end. But I bought all the thick books. I think I still have them up until about the time he becomes. The last one I bought was the one where he's Pope. That's a fun one. I really enjoyed that. Ardent, the Punisher. Yeah, the Punisher. Yeah, that was the Mike Barron did that. Did that Black Like Me run on the Punisher. Corey, Shaft had great performances in C. Bale, and Jeffrey Wright was brilliant. You're talking about the Samuel L. Jackson Shaft, right? I assume. All right. Let's check the box office and see what the hell's playing now. God forbid. This is going to be a show and a half. Guess what's number one, everybody? Transformers Rise of the Beast hit the top of the box office this weekend. Corey, one's a spy who does what he wants. One's a cop who does what he wants. Same crap. Yeah, your point is valid. JC, Cerebus is good until issue 200, and then the pacing grinds to a halt, and he literally sits at a bar for 50 issues. It's insanely boring. Yeah. Sim gets very heady, and although his artwork's fantastic, I mean the artwork just goes off the charts. JC, Transformers is 4 hours long. It is not. You're telling me this movie's 4 hours long? Jesus H. Christmas. You couldn't pay me to see a movie that long these days. Jesus, 4 hours? You kidding me? It still did 170 this weekend. Ain't bad, but is that money? I don't think so. How much does it cost to make this damn thing? I gotta think this is at least 150 to 200. Well, maybe not. I mean, there's a lot of CGI. JC, yes it is. That's nuts. I would never see this movie then. As much as I used to love Transformers. Corey, yes, Sam Jackson was an enjoyable movie. Punisher, he was Luke Cage when he turned black. Wow, 170. Yeah, I don't know. Doesn't seem like this is money, but maybe they really cheaped out on the movie, because other than they're promoting Peter Cullen, the voice of Optimus Prime in the movie, as if he's the big name, and he kind of is, but that means there are no celebrities in that damn movie other than him. Corey, Spider-Man ATSV, saw it yesterday. ATSV. ATSV. Oh, Spider-Verse. The Spider-Verse thing. Did you like it? JC, Beast Wars was my favorite version of Transformers. I enjoyed it as a kid, and I have no interest in this one. Yeah, I kind of feel the same way. The cartoon was really well done, and even the cartoon movie was good. The last appearance of Orson Welles, by the way, as Omicron, the Transformer planet. So, yeah, I mean, I liked the first live-action Transformers. I guess that was Michael Bay did the first one, or I think he did a couple of the others. After that, it kind of just like, what the hell's happening? The first one's okay. It's almost there. It's like they changed a bunch of weird stuff in it, though, I didn't like. Ardent. ATSV does Miguel O'Hara dirty. Corey, had its problems, but I liked it. JEC, who is the human starring in the Transformers now? I have no idea. I don't even remember seeing a human in the trailer, because I saw that one of the early trailers and it was Optimus Prime and it was the gorilla guy. I don't even remember. I mean, you couldn't get Shia LaBeouf to come back for that? I guess he's uninsurable these days. I don't know. He's in a new movie now. So number 2 is Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse. Made $55 million. This is the second week. Dropped 54%. And what are we at here? Oh, we're at 389. So, yeah, this is probably money. Miles Morales is Miles Morales, and Peter Parker is Spider-Man, by the way. Corey, are we really talking about robot cars? The only thing I remember is that broad, what's her face? Fox Megan? Fox, yes. Yes, she was so hot in that. And then I believe it was Amber Heard replaced her, right? And Amber Heard was at her absolute peak in that movie. Whew. When she walked onto the screen, I couldn't remember my own name. I said, when they got rid of Megan Fox in that after that first movie, I said, how are they going to find someone hotter than Megan Fox? And then Amber Heard showed up, and I was like, holy F. JEC, looking it up, looks like POV human characters are random no-name black people? Well, that's weird. That's very strange. So, yeah, so I guess that's why they're promoting Peter Cullen as the big name in the Transformers Rise of the Beast. But it seems to have worked, and I love the guy's voice. You gotta love Optimus Prime's voice. You gotta love it, but at this late in the game, I mean, this has got to be the last one, right? I guess, unless it makes money. But number 3, The Little Mermaid, down 45% in its third week. 414 million? I don't know. They spent a lot of money advertising this thing. I think they're gonna kind of make money, but I think it'll mostly. I think what'll push them over into profitability would be the record deal. Halle Bailey releasing all the soundtrack because the soundtrack's so popular. Corey, who cares? Now you're gonna have to be way more specific than that, Corey. But this is what's out in movies, Corey. Hopefully it doesn't make any money. I don't want this movie to make money. They might make another one, God forbid. They might remake. I think there was a sequel to The Little Mermaid. They might remake all the damn sequels. Ugh. That'd be awful. Number 4, Guardians of the Galaxy. Still hanging on. In its 6th week. It's a number 4 movie. It's a, man, Chris Pratt cracked 800 million. 805 worldwide. Chris Pratt is, between Chris Pratt and Tom Cruise, they're saving Hollywood. And Chris Pratt is bringing in more money. So you got 1.3 billion with the Mario Brothers and 800 million with that. So Chris Pratt brought in $2 billion this year. Corey, Tony, would you lose your mind watching Spider-Man? ITSV, I would pay your ticket to listen to you. I don't know. I don't think I'd lose my mind. I think I'd just be like, meh. I mean, I know you love Spider-Man, Corey. Corey loves Spider-Man. I like Spider-Man. I love the old Spider-Man cartoon TV show. That, to me, was peak Spider-Man for me. I love the old cartoon series. I love the music in it. I love everything about that cartoon. God, I could watch that all day long. Seeing them try to make this for, seeing a bunch of middle-aged people write it for a bunch of kids. I mean, at least when I watched the old Spider-Man cartoon, it was the same deal. It was a bunch of middle-aged people trying to write for kids. It always is that way, but I don't know. Maybe. JC, Transformers looks like it's directed by the guy who did Creed 2. Oh, well, maybe it's watchable then. I mean, Creed 2 was okay. Fairly watchable movie. Corey, loved GOTG. GOTG. Oh, Guardians of the Galaxy. Yes, I love the first one. First one's really good. Second one is not great. I kind of tolerate it. I love the what's the name? The Christmas special. That was fun. Ardent introduced Stormy and her kids to John Carter, Taylor Kish, last night. They loved it. Can't wait to show them Star Wars and Dune. Oh, that's cool. Corey, Creed 2 to 3 sucked. Drago should have won, and this last one is idiotic with no Rocky. Yeah, it's that they cut out Rocky. I mean, I kind of understand why they did it, but they should have given him like a send-off. But I think Stallone's in a fight with the producers. JC, I've had the first Spider-Verse movie sitting on my hard drive for like 5 years now. I can't bring myself to watch it. I'm too old for a Spider-Man cartoon. Well, I hear it's okay, but Ardent saw GOTG X-Men special. It was good. Yeah, it was decent. It was fun. I like the song in it was really good. Number 5, The Boogeyman, week 2. This is Stephen King's short story they turned into a movie. Doing $39 million. That's probably money for a horror movie. Ardent says, JEC, it's worthwhile. Number 6, Fast X, in its 4th week, $5 million. I don't think this movie made money. Well, 652 worldwide. I mean, probably made profit, I guess, but I don't know. This movie looked expensive as F. Everybody was in it. They had stunts galore. I mean, it must have cost a fortune to make this movie. But I guess it didn't cost as much as Indiana Jones, because they're saying that's the most expensive movie ever made. And that movie cost $300 million, just about. So this movie had to be over $200 million. It had to be. So maybe this is just money, I guess. Super Mario Bros. There it is. 1.3 billion. Crazy. Corey, it's great idea, Spider-Verse, but they throw too much woke S in it. But it's really enjoyable. But as a Spider-Man fan in all of his world, there's things that bother me. Yeah, I would probably go nuts then. Number 8, About My Father. This is the movie that is tailor-made for my dad and me to go see. I should probably take him to see it. 11 million. I forgot to tell him about this. But it's not doing well. I mean, that might be money, but probably not. I mean, De Niro's in it. And it doesn't look like a cheap movie. And even a not cheap, low-budget movie in Hollywood's got to be 20 million. Corey, or Ardent at Corey. Oh, I agree, but it's still worthwhile. Just worthwhile. Number 9, The Machine, which I still want to see. Haven't gotten to the theaters. Yeah, it's only done 10 million. Damn, we need more comedies. I should go see this. Put my money where my mouth is. Part of me just wants to cheap out and wait till it goes on video, but maybe the nice young man will give me a senior discount like last time. Number 10, Past Lives. What the hell is this? I don't know this movie. It's an art house flick. Man, it's number 10. It made $500,000. It's only in 26 theaters. Well, that's kind of good. I mean, it looks good anyway. It looks good on paper. You Hurt My Feelings. This is that Julia Louis-Dreyfus movie, Sinking Fast. Corey, love John Wick series. Love Keanu. His film choices are great. Yeah, they really are. Although I think John Wick 5 is really pushing it, man. I don't know. They're kind of all the same. No, wait, I looked at this one. You Hurt My Feelings is Julia Louis-Dreyfus, 3.8 million. Yeah, you're not Woody Allen, Julia. Sorry. She made this movie probably about, I'm going to say about 5 to 8 years too late. Like, she should have done a movie while she was still doing VP or Veep or whatever that was called. I think she's been out of that for a year at least, more. Clint Miller, senior discount. I get them. Oh, the nice young man gave me a senior discount. Ardent, just put your SW Outlaws trailer review on my watch later. I'm slow checking my notifications on the weekend. That movie looks cool. It's a great pitch. Corey, I agree. I like it, but it's a pregnant Spider-Woman, and I really had to make her a different color. Why? What's the purpose? Yeah, I mean, this has been an obsession with the Marvel Comics guys. They had, what was it? I guess it was Spider-Woman. They had her pregnant in the comics, and being a superhero was the dumbest thing. They got blasted for it, but they don't care. Mending the Line. Oh, this movie, I mean, it's not doing well at all. How many theaters is it in? Oof. It's in 400 theaters, and it only made $225,000. Oofa. That's not good. Ardent, OFFS. Corey, what's the last one? John Wick 4? When he dies, what did I just watch? He dies in the fourth one? I didn't see it. Spoilers. I have no idea. But this Mending the Line actually looked like a pretty good premise. It was about a guy who helps veterans get through their PTSD. I mean, it's a drama. It should have probably been on TV. But it was a drama about a guy, teaching veterans to fish to deal with their PTSD. And, it looked fine. I mean, Brian Cox is the lead. He's a pretty good actor for that. I'm surprised it didn't do a little bit better because Succession was such a hot commodity in the trades. Oh, Succession, you got to watch Succession, except it really wasn't. It was kind of partly hype because the season finale didn't really do that well. I think it underperformed, and but you would think some of the Brian Cox fans would go see Mending the Line, but I don't think it really got enough promotion. Probably should have been on TV. The Roundup, No Way Out. I got a bug in here. I don't know that. Book Club, The Next Chapter. God, this movie's still in theaters. Still in 208 theaters. It's an old woman, The Next Chapter. Ardent, there's a 5th Wick movie coming, supposedly. Yep. John Wick Chapter 4, here it is. 92,000. Still in 118 theaters if you haven't seen it. Are you there, God? It's me, Margaret. Just give it up. Just give it up. They really wanted this movie to succeed. Let's look at John Wick first. Yeah, John Wick. This one is the highest grossing John Wick movie. So it's no surprise they're making a 5th one at $432 million. This movie, however, really underperformed. $21 million, probably lost them money. But they can't stop flacking it, man. This movie premiered in 56 theaters. It's called The Angry Black Girl and Her Monster. It's basically a take on Frankenstein in, like, the hood. And it didn't look great in the trailer I watched. It could be interesting, an interesting take on Frankenstein, but it doesn't look like they put in a ton of effort in it, but it's only done 50K. I don't know if this would speak to the audience they're aiming this at, but maybe. I hate the title, The Angry Black Girl and Her Monster. I mean, that's just a bad title, I think. I mean, obviously, it's not the 70s. You couldn't call it Blackenstein. That would be terrible, but you'd want to call it something along the lines of, I don't know, something about like the monster of the Terrace Green or something like that, like named after the project, like the monster of the projects or something like that. JC, Succession I never heard of until everyone posted about the final episode. Feels astroturfed as hell. Yeah, probably is. Although I did hear about it for weeks and weeks in the trades. Ardent, if they want to jump on Christianity train, Hollywood's gonna have to make crusade movies. Kingdom of Heaven was awesome. Ooh, kind of want to see that. Corey, it was great, JW. Ardent, nobody needs a sequel. JC, can't even black women don't want to watch a movie about an angry black woman. Yeah, it seems a weird calling out, right? It's like, who cares if she's angry? People want to see a monster movie. Clint Miller, remember Blackula? Yeah, that's why. and I would be surprised if someone somewhere didn't make Blackenstein, but back in like 72 or something. But you'd have to call it like, I don't know, something about the monster. Who cares about the girl? Corey, interesting take on Frankenstein was Rocky Horror Picture Show. The rest, give it up. Chevalier, still in theaters. They actually put it in more theaters. It's a little late for that. It's been out for 8 weeks. Talk about dropping the ball on that. Okay, so now you're going to put it on 218 theaters. I think you're way late on this. It only did 35K. It's in 218 theaters. Doesn't make any sense. Blackberry, $22,000. It's in its 5th week. Nefarious, still in 36 theaters. Ardent, The Urban Prometheus. Ooh. Would be a good Black Frankenstein title. I don't mind that. The Urban Prometheus. It's a bit snooty, but okay. I'll allow it. Ant-Man and the Wasp somehow is still in 20 theaters. Like Disney is like, maybe we just leave it in 20 theaters. Everybody will find those theaters and see the movie. And then here's 2 movies that premiered at the bottom of the list, but they're only in 1 and 2 theaters respectively. Squaring the Circle. I think this is perhaps about the making of the Pink Floyd album cover or something. I'm not sure. And Scarlet. What the hell is Scarlet? I don't know. They look like art house movies. I don't remember seeing these trailers. Quantum Misery, says Ardent. Yeah, I guess, I guess if Disney had their way, they'd just keep Disney movies in theaters forever and just keep rotating them. The total for this week was $163 million. That's not great. Let's look at, let's see. Last week was 205. And the week before, 163. 121. Well, I guess it's not the worst week. But not great. Not great at all. When you got Transformers The Rise of the Beast as your hot movie for the weekend in the middle of summer, I guess it's not the middle of summer, but the beginning of summer, part way into summer, you know? I mean, Spider-Man Across the Universe almost beat it. Clint Miller, Michelle Pfeiffer trying to stay in the public eye. Yeah, it gets sad when some of these, like Arnold Schwarzenegger has been doing some sad takes, man. I just don't like him doing this stuff. It's like, what are you doing? Just make something. I mean, people saw Fubar, despite the fact that it looks terrible. It was like the hottest thing on Netflix. Corey, movies are finished. Let's be honest. It's over, Johnny. It's over. Well, celebrities are definitely done. I don't know if movies are done. Celebrities are dead. They're just done. Nobody cares about celebrities, with very few exceptions. I would say Tom Cruise is kind of the last movie star. And, he's got a lot riding on the new Mission Impossible. But I think it's charting well. Probably do okay for him at least. And he still got Maverick. So he had a good year. Ardent Stallone has a real family show now. Where'd I leave my noise? Noose. Oh, okay. Where'd I leave my noose? Stallone is kind of cashing out. I think he's ruining his own brand. And I think part of it for Stallone is he didn't age gracefully. I think he did the Expendable movies for too long and stuff like that. And he should have just, he's a good actor. He's a good director. He's good at everything. I wish he had done more movies like Copland and gone down that path and done more dramatic roles. But, Corey, what's the big summer blockbuster? Old Man Keaton Batman? Blah. Or Old Man Indiana Jones? I'll stay home and watch reruns of The Rifleman. The summer blockbuster still is Mario Brothers and maybe Guardians of the Galaxy. So Ardent, Johnny Depp says he refuses to have anything to do with Disney. That's true. And Warner Brothers. There's another Expendables. Expendables 4. Yep. Although Stallone, it's with Stallone. So he's not in it as much. Statham is the main character in it. And Megan Fox. So, yeah. That franchise to me is totally over because they've run out of cameos. They're already repeating people. Dolph Lundgren is in it. They've run out of cameos. The whole point of the movie was cameos, and now you're going to put in Megan Fox. Megan Fox is hot, but I don't think she's an action star. Again, like Hit Girl. If you'd put Hit Girl in, I would have been like, oh, that's kind of cool. I mean, she's at least young. Like Megan Fox is hot, but I don't take her seriously at all with a gun. If she actually walked into a room where I was with a real gun, I would laugh at her. I just wouldn't take it seriously. I'd walk up and slap the gun out of her hand. It's just stupid. She's just too girly and hot. She should be the one. If she's going to be in the Expendables, she shouldn't be doing anything. She shouldn't be lifting anything heavy. She should be the one that goes in and seduces. If she goes in and seduces, like, I don't know, the El General of some South American country the Expendables are going to take over, yeah, that I'd believe. I'd believe that in a second. Ardent, yep, they should have drawn on younger guys to the next generation and keep action movies alive. Yeah, or you really would have to go back in time. I don't even know who they had left to throw in there. Clint Miller, no. Ronda Rousey's face sitting men to death? No, apparently not. Ardent, Megan Fox best work, Jonah Hex. That's not saying much. I hear that movie's barely watchable. Is she topless in that? All right, looking at the trades. What's on the trades? Stan Lee has got a documentary about the late Marvel visionary, they say. I guess. I mean, I don't know. They're probably going to pave over some of the stuff I've heard about Stan Lee. Some of the stuff I've heard about Stan Lee is not nice. But we'll see. Ardent, LOL, at least they never got Seagal for the Expendables. Quick, let's hide in this donut shot. Steven Seagal? Yes, I've been here. I've been waiting. Corey Sosner, I want to support Cruise, but I'm not a fan of the MI franchise. Ditto. So I hopefully he comes out with something. Dude is not summer yet. July, August. What's coming out? Oh, well, I could tell you. Go to the IMDb. Let's see. What is coming out? Release calendar. Okay. Tell you what's coming out. June 13th, Soul Doctor. I have no idea what that is. So next weekend is The Flash, right? That's next weekend. June 16th. That's going to be the big movie next weekend. Ardent, she played a... Oh, Aurelius is here. Hi, Aurelius. I would play the South American general, thanks. I would even grow a sweet mustache. Corey, I'll tell you what I'm looking forward to watching Jaws 75 somewhere on the Jersey Shore somewhere. Nice. Ardent, ugh, Ezra Miller. F my life. JC, I want to see Asteroid City by Wes Anderson. That comes out the week after next, I think. Yeah, I kind of want to see that. It looks amazing. I don't know if the story is going to blow me away, but the look of it is just, it is a feast for the eyes. Yeah, so The Flash, I'm not giving Ezra Miller my money. No way. I'll wait until it comes on Max if I do see it. Elemental, no interest in seeing that. But The Flash, I mean, it might do okay, right? It might do okay. It's not really up against anything. By next week, is anybody going to want to see Transformers once word of mouth gets out? I don't know. I think The Flash, because Michael Keaton's in it, because they're promoting Michael Keaton, it might do okay. But then June 20th, The Evil of Dracula. That's in the middle of the week. Then June 21st, He Killed in Ecstasy, The Get Rich Quick Scheme. I don't know what that is. So then the weekend after, this would be the second weekend after for The Flash. It's up against Asteroid City, which that's not competition for it, really. No Hard Feelings, which is a comedy with Jennifer Lawrence. This actually kind of looks funny. It doesn't look bad. Not sure. And Jennifer Lawrence kind of plays like a jerk. So I kind of think that could work for her as a celebrity, right? Because people are sick of celebrities, and if she plays a jerk, I think people could really get behind it if she really throws herself into it. And Jennifer Lawrence really does have the chops, and she's hot, so it could work. Who's the star of the Dracula one? Let's see. Miles John Dalton is Dracula. It doesn't look like a very expensive movie, I'll say. It might even be a cartoon, judging from that poster. So No Hard Feelings. I don't think it's going to outperform The Flash, but it might do okay, just because there's no comedies out other than The Machine. And it is summer. I'd rather see a comedy. Corey, The Evil of Dracula in the summer? Yeah, okay, sign me up. Ardent, never heard of him. I'll give it a chance. Past Lives, that's a romance movie. God is a Bullet. Oh, I think, yeah, okay. This looks dark and actiony. This is Jamie Lannister from Game of Thrones and Jamie Foxx. And it's Jamie Lannister as a cop. He infiltrates a Satanist cult to get at the guys who they seduced his daughter into this Satan cult. And Jamie Foxx plays one of the Satanists who helps him. And then there's I don't know, some hot chick who also was in the cult, and then they infiltrate the cult, and they're gonna save his daughter. That could be cool. I don't know. I think for a summer movie, it's a little hard for a summer movie. Asteroid City, though, I think I'd go see that. It feels like a movie you could pay for, even if it's kind of boring and not that good. I mean, it's billed as a comedy, drama, romance. I think the drama undermines the comedy, and the comedy undermines the drama, but it could be very entertaining. Feels more like they don't know how to classify a Wes Anderson movie. Ardent, Costa Waldau isn't a great actor, in my opinion. No, but this is an action movie. How good do you have to be? I mean, you have to be good, but you don't have to be that good. You know? You're too busy, like, blam! Just gotta look the part, I think. June 27th, The Room Celebration. I don't know what that is. Then, end of June, Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny. Now, this will knock whatever's left of The Flash right off its pedestal, along with all the other big movies. Except for the movies that kind of have legs. They'll hang on there. The Spider-Verse movie might still be in the top 10. Some of the others will still be hanging on. But Indiana Jones will initially knock those down. And Ruby Gillman, Teenage Kraken, that has absolutely no chance of making any kind of money. That's just gonna... No, people will stampede it trying to get to Indiana Jones. Because keep in mind, it's not movie people. It's going to be normies. Normies going to see Indiana Jones because they haven't seen it in a while, and they'll forget, and they'll say, oh, maybe this will be good. I'll give it a chance. It's 4th of July. I want to go in the air conditioning. I mean, it's the week before 4th of July. So, plus you got the 4th of July weekend right after. But, after that, July 1st, The Forbidden Kingdom, which is some kind of fantasy movie. What the hell is this? I forget. I don't even know what this is. Life's Mapped Out. Oh, then The Sound of Freedom opens July 4th weekend. The Perfect Destiny. So it's not up against anything, really. Not big. I mean, look, if you're going to see The Sound of Freedom, it's a different crowd than Indiana Jones. Indiana Jones is like everybody. The Sound of Freedom is going to be people who are like, oh, I want to see Jim Caviezelli and I want to see something a little wholesome-ish. Well, in terms of the... I shouldn't say wholesome. I want to see something... I want to support Jim Caviezelli. I'm saying his name wrong, I know. And I want to see a drama about this terrible thing that's happening. I don't want to talk about it too much at YouTube, but you know what the movie's about. Ardent. Forbidden Kingdom, probably a Chinese legend related. Yeah, it's probably a Chinese movie. July 7th, The Insidious Red Door. Joyride. That looks horrible. That is a Chinese movie. It's an all Chinese cast about Chinese Americans going to China to reconnect with their roots, and it just looks awful. Summer Gold. Jerry O'Connell's in that one. I forget what that's about. And then July 12th, Mission Impossible. So there's where the summer finally comes back, I think. Ardent. Caviezelli? Caviezel. But getting back to the trades, if there's anything going on. Geez, I didn't even check the trades yesterday, and there's almost nothing going on. Mutant Mayhem, Jeff Rowe, Nora, Tommy, Nickelodeon's Latifah. I don't know any of these people. Talking about animation's new creativity at Variety's ANSI panel. Who cares? TikTok no match for YouTube amongst kid under 12, according to a survey. I think we all knew that. Checking Hollywood Reporter. Tonys, or I guess they're in the queue. Who cares about the Tonys? Who cares about any awards at this point? Again, nobody's into celebrities anymore. Aurelius. Car B money. Cab B sell. Cabby Cell. These guys are trying to get me to say his name. Ardent, good. TikTok is dirty AF. Yeah, I agree. Never use TikTok, I say. A TV writer's plea in wake of LGBTQ confrontations. Don't let hate groups fornicate California's schools. Go F yourselves. California already effed their schools. You've got one of the most corrupt governors in the United States. He's ranting. You got one of the most corrupt governors in the United States. His own wife supposedly is involved in supplying educational materials to the state. Now, that's not a conflict of interest. He should be investigated. His wife should be investigated, without a doubt. Will they? No. Because he's protected by Nancy Pelosi. Because they're all very buddy-buddy, from what I understand. I think he's related. Yeah, he's like her nephew, I think. And they're teeing him up to try to run for president. If, God forbid, Biden drops dead too soon. God forbid. Ardent. LOL, eat it. Groomer. Yeah, exactly. Oh, here's big news. New Leprechaun movie in the works at Lionsgate. I know you've been waiting for that. You've been saying to yourself, how is there not a Leprechaun movie this year? How is there not a Leprechaun movie after they made Leprechaun in the Hood? How is there not a Leprechaun movie? Oh, Ardent, one of your messages got retracted. I don't know if it was you or YouTube. What could they do with the Leprechaun movie at this point other than reboot it? Bring back Jennifer Aniston to be in one. I don't know. What could you do with it? Leprechaun in San Francisco? Maybe. Yeah, and he has to face off against all the homeless people pooping in the street, and he gets a maybe he'd be the good guy in that movie. He'd be like, oh gosh, begorra, the streets are terrible. I can't go. Let me go into this Walgreens and get myself a soda. Oh wait, all the sodas have been stolen. All the sodas. Aren't it Leprechaun? LOL. Is it Leprechaun at the Pride Parade? At Pride Parade? I retracted it. It just didn't get there in time. Worried it might catch you a strike. Oh, thank you. Thank you. Bleach Demon is here. Leprechaun versus Meth Hobo. Ooh, that could be a matchup. That could be a matchup. Although Leprechaun is supernatural, so he has the edge, obviously. If you've got supernatural powers, you can kind of break all the rules. Unless, the meth hobo had a special, trinket that made him immune to part of his supernatural abilities. Then, maybe. Maybe he's got a special necklace that the leprechaun wants. You can't put the whammy on him, but he can do it to everybody else. Ardent. GTG, my woman is on the phone. Have a good night, all. Good night, Ardent. Thanks for dropping in. Let's see. Hugh Grant in talks for A24 thriller from A Quiet Place writers Scott Beck and Brian Woods. Hugh Grant's kind of rebuilt his career. He's been in a bunch of stuff, some of which I've kind of seen and some of which looked okay. The movie he did look pretty good in, and it's a shame the movie didn't do anything. It was, oh God, it had this really, Operation Fortune was the name. It had this really long name. It's a Guy Ritchie movie, which is the only reason I remember it. It had Jason Statham, Aubrey Plaza, Hugh Grant, and 3 or 4 other cast members I recognized. And it actually looked pretty fun, and he was the bad guy in it. And he looked like he was doing a big character. Clint says, see ya, Ardent. So, yeah, he seems to be back on his feet and wanting to work, wanting to get in some movies. I guess his residuals run out. I guess that's what happens to a lot of these big names. For a while, they're making so much money, and they just go, why should I work? I'm making all this money. And then the royalties the checks start getting a little too small. You start thinking to yourself, I don't know. I got to maintain my lifestyle. I better get back to work. What else we got? Nothing. Over at Deadline, otherwise known as Variety Point 2.0, Gladiator 2 crew members suffer burn injuries from stunt accidents on the set. That's no good. 6 of them did. Oof. Well, I'm not surprised. I mean, that's going to be a dangerous movie. Are they going to ban fire from sets now? After they ban guns? They're banning guns from movie sets, but that kind of makes sense in a way. I mean, especially these big budget movies, they have no business using functional guns now that we have the airsoft things that look just like guns, and they're going to add the muzzle flash anyway. But what they definitely didn't need on the set was live rounds. I mean, you just didn't need them. But, the ban on live rounds, that worked so well. Yeah, nobody ever got hurt or injured because of the ban on live rounds. So, the ban on guns, I'm sure, will work very well. Speaking of which, I don't think I have an article here. Alec Baldwin got out of the hospital. He had a hip replacement surgery. He's still walking around a free man. Or limping. RuPaul's Drag Race winner Tyra Sanchez arrested in Florida for alleged threats to shoot police. There you go. Oh, and this was a thing. I didn't even see this, but apparently a monologue that was used by Donald Trump was used without permission in one of his campaign bits online, I guess. And Ben Affleck and Matt Damon got mad about it. I don't know if they're going to sue him or whatever. Clint Miller, the Taken series? There's going to be a Taken series? Oh, God, no. Don't want to see that. Yeah, that's about it. That's about it. Finally, we'll check Bounding in the Comics because they usually have a lot of good stuff. Elle Fanning and Jenna Ortega reject Hollywood's stereotypical badass and strong female characters. I think they're trying to take over the Wednesday show because they're the stars and they could probably do it. It's probably 90% of the reason people are watching this damn thing. So you don't have a show without them. We'll see if how well they do as producers. It could get very self-indulgent and really terrible really fast. But if their ideas are good, maybe not. I don't know. We'll have to see. It's really going to tell you the next season of Wednesday whether the writers were the guys with good ideas that made Wednesday what it is, or Jenna was. I'd almost go back and watch the whole series now. It would be a very interesting sort of breakdown for it. I mean, I watched the first episode. I had a video on it. It was okay. I don't know. It's not the Addams Family to me, but what the hell? Stupid website. Oh, there we go. Yeah, this is one of the reasons. Another reason not to see The Flash. The Flash producer Barbara Muschietti claims the movie's cameos were the core idea of the film itself. Does that sound like a good movie to you? I mean, look, I know I said The Expendables were kind of like that. I mean, part of the point of part of the point of The Expendables were to have cameos. But, like, they were cameos from characters in a movie that were going to do the same thing. Right? They're all action guys, and it was going to be an action movie, and you want to see them return. In this case, they've got so many people making cameos, most of them you don't even want to see. Who the hell wants to see what's the name? God, I just drew a blank. Batman. Not Val Kilmer. He's not in it. Well, first off, Nick Cage, Superman, is supposed to be in it. And the other Batman everybody hates, George Clooney. God, I couldn't think of his name. No, are you dying to see a George Clooney Batman cameo? I'm not. I'm barely interested in the Michael Keaton cameo, although he does look better in this movie. He looks like he's better in the character, but Aurelius, weird, critical drinker, just published a video about the modern strong female character stereotypes. Sometimes I wonder if they're trying to jump early into the ideological backswing of things. I think a lot of them are. I think you're seeing the rumblings of that now. And I think the first people who would know would be the people working in LA right now. And they know. They know it's coming. Now, some of them are like, I'm already making too much money doing what I'm doing. I'm not going to rock the boat. But the ones that aren't making money, they can't wait to get in on that. They want to at least have a foot in it. So they're going to, at least in the beginning, start doing both. They're going to say, oh, well, yeah, I'm working with Mark Wahlberg out in Las Vegas, but so what? It's just another movie. Yeah, I'm working with Dennis Quaid out in Texas. So what? It's just another movie. I could do that and do stuff in Hollywood too. That's what they're going to do first. But as the trend picks up speed, I'm telling you, these guys are going to be fighting over which churches they go to. Chris Pratt's church is going to be full of big names. Because they're all going to be like, oh, I got to get into Pratt's church. They're all going to convert. I mean, look, You got Shia LaBeouf, right? Big announcement. Oh, I'm Catholic now. You got Kelsey Grammer. Never heard him utter a mumbling F about religion before. The last movie was about religion, and suddenly he's talking about religion. Dennis Quaid said, I'm going to rebuild Hollywood in Texas. Marky Mark is, I'm going to move Hollywood to Las Vegas. He's already working with Mel Gibson doing something. And Mel announced a documentary on the same subject that Jim Caviezel is working on in his movie. So, I think they're all stampeding towards it. Bleach Demon. No, John Aston or Raul Julia? Not my Addams family. Yeah, exactly. CGI him in if you have to. Aurelius. But they're dipping their toes first with statements like this regarding Jenna Ortega's. Yeah. Bleach Demon. Michael Keaton, Michael Keaton, Michael Keaton, Michael Keaton. Yes, it is Michael Keaton. I just, he was okay. I didn't like him really as Batman. I liked him as Bruce Wayne. I thought he was fun as Bruce Wayne, but as Batman in the original movies, I didn't think he was good. He just wasn't an action guy to me. But now, as the older Batman, seems to work. Seems to work it for him. But, it's like the core of the movie is going to be cameos. I don't think that could work. But we'll see. I mean, it might work. Well, here's a review of The Flash. This is bounding in the comics, so they tend to be very harsh on things like this. Flash review: an unfunny CGI monstrosity of a superhero film. If that's true, they're in big trouble, because that could collapse. That, but I don't know. I don't know if they care, as long as they don't lose too much money. So if this thing can limp to a couple of $100 million and offset their cost and even break even, I think they'll be happy. I think they'll be very happy if they break even with this movie. I think the guy who unfortunately is caught in the middle of this is Michael Keaton. He was in this. He was in the Batgirl movie. He was prominent in that, and the Batgirl movie was supposed to tie into this, and it was part of rebuilding his career. It's a shame, because I do like Michael Keaton. I mean, he's been in some great movies, but these Hollywood guys don't know how to do comics. I'll say it a million times. They just don't understand comic books. They just don't understand it. Clint Miller, Sleepers, maybe? You mean the movie's a sleeper? Maybe. It could be. I don't know. Might be the Transformers movie's the sleeper, because, I mean, the guy directing it was okay. I mean, maybe it has legs. I don't know. More on the Punisher. And the only other headline here was the host of Robbie Starbuck show, Robbie Starbuck, accuses Megan Fox of child abuse, says she forces her sons to wear girls' clothes. And I'll show you the picture. You be the judge. One of the kids definitely looks very girly. The kid on the left. And then in another picture, I don't know if it's on here. Well, here, looks like he's wearing a dress. They look like they're all wearing dresses. Yeah, I don't know. Are her kids a fashion statement now? That's a shame, if true. I lose a lot of respect for her seeing these pictures. There was another one on Twitter, and her one son is wearing... I don't want to stay on these pictures. Her one son was wearing open-toe girly shoes. I mean, they were clearly girl shoes. And I just thought, oh, that's horrible. Why the hell would you do that to your kid? I just don't get that. Why would you do that? Yeah, so that was sad to see. And the other thing, before I go, start to wrap up. Doomcock dropped another video today. If you want to know more about what's going on with the whole Lucasfilm rumor, which was big, we didn't even talk about it. So let's talk about that briefly. So the rumor is Lucasfilms is up for sale. And the reason is that Disney is short on cash. And this is according to Doomcock and the other guy who's on his show every once in a while. I'm going to switch to the numbers because this site has too many running ads. The other guy he has on the show, Cameron Pashaw, and he has his own video show, but he goes on Doomcock and they talk about their various rumors. They have connections in the industry. Pashaw is a working screenwriter in Hollywood, currently on strike, I assume. And Doomcock, nobody knows who he is. He's a YouTuber, but he covers this stuff. So they have connections out there. And what they're saying is the first rumor was kind of shocking. But again, these are all rumors. And I'm just repeating what they're saying, but they're very interesting. So the first rumor is that Disney only has $200 million left in operating expenses. Which, if true, they are truly desperate for money. And JC, at this point, Doomcock is basically the nerd version of Q. I don't know. I mean, he was right on the Indiana Jones stuff, seemingly. And they did test the movie apparently 5 times. And the focus groups hated it. And then they changed it, and now it's supposedly, it's not going to be good, but it's supposedly fixed that they got rid of the terrible ending where Indy is erased from history. And there was, I believe, a leak of the script, or pages from the script that had some of that, and Antonio Banderas was in the movie. I don't know if he still is. They may have cut him completely out of it. I don't know. I mean, Cameron Pashaw, I mean, he is a working guy. He can get in a lot of trouble if his rumors are off the charts. And he ain't hiding behind a mask. So the rumor is that Lucasfilms is being sold because Disney needs the money. And it is true that Iger vowed to cut $5.5 billion of overhead in order to make the company more profitable or lean or whatever you want to call it. So that much is true. Now, the first rumor was that an individual was buying Lucasfilms. And so most people, or some of Doomcock's guys said, well, it's going to be Lucas, possibly. But now, the latest update is that the guy who made the offer has so much money, he's offering $8 billion for the Star Wars franchise because he's so rich, that wouldn't bother him, right? He's got to be a guy like in Elon Musk's league of money. He has so much money that $8 billion is like, yeah, I'll buy it for $8 billion. Which Disney could hardly afford to turn down if this money situation is true. Bleach Demon, I have doubts that the rodent would sell Lucasfilms entirely. Ryan Citro is here. Hello. The deal, as alleged by Doomcock, would be that Disney could continue to do everything else, but they couldn't make movies anymore. They could continue the rides and some of the merchandise and stuff, but they couldn't make movies. That this guy is mainly interested in taking the movies over. And apparently he's got deep pockets, and they said he's based out of the Middle East. Ryan Citro, how are you doing? I'm doing fine, Ryan. We're just about to wrap. 7 o'clock. But get in your comments now, Ryan. So, I mean, that could be, I don't know, could be MBS of of Saudi Arabia. Could be him. He's got that kind of money. A lot of the Saudis do. Um, so maybe the Saudis like Star Wars and they want to buy it. I don't know. I mean, it's possible. It seems to me Disney has to be losing money. And so when Iger comes out and says, I need to cut $5.5 billion out of our overhead, seems to me that sounds like it's a true statement. Aurelius, Musk buying Lucasfilms means Star Wars shot in actual outer space. It won't be him though. Bleach Demon. So Saudi's Wars starring Abdullah Alan Walker. Possibly. I don't know. I don't know why. It could just be a fan. One of the Saudis is such a fan of Star Wars. He just has so much money. He just said, "I'll buy it from you. I'll buy it and I'll fix it." I mean, it's possible. Aurelius, maybe Russia will buy Star Wars just to spite the West. I don't think they could sell it to him now because of the various, sanctions. It would be too risky to try to sell it to the Russians. They don't have that kind of money anyway. Russians, they don't have money. That's one thing the Russians don't have. They don't have a lot of money. I mean, they have some money, but they don't have that. They don't have money to burn. They got to survive. They're fighting a war. They don't have $8 billion to drop on Star Wars. I don't see what good it would do them. I'll tell you who would want Star Wars would be the Chinese. Oh, the Chinese would love to buy Star Wars. It would absolutely, if they have $8 billion, they'd buy it. They'd absolutely buy it. Because it's my belief that CCP wants to take over Hollywood or destroy it and replace it. And then be able to control, movies up to a point. To the point at which they're Hollywood, essentially. Aurelius, part of the peace deal with Ukraine? That'd be a weird peace deal. Nobody in the U.S. wants a peace deal. That's part of the problem. Aurelius, surrender your Jedi and your Star Destroyers. Yeah, if only the West wanted a peace deal. If the West wants a peace deal, this war is over in a heartbeat. In my view, they don't want the war to be over because they see it as it's the same strategy they used in Afghanistan. But the difference was in the 80s, we had money to burn, right? Or at least the United States did. So, and we weren't even spending that much money secretly supporting the Mujahideen. How'd that go, by the way? Ooh, yeah, that blew up in our faces. This is bound to blow up in our faces too, by the way. And by the way, Biden just approved like another $2 billion to be sent to the Ukraine. It's nuts. Bleach Demon, I would love to see someone buy it and make the Disney junkies weep. I don't know, man. If you're still going to have Disney in the mix, why buy it at all? If Disney is on hard times, I would press them. I would say, no, you can't use them. You could use the rides until you could rebrand them. I'll give you like 5 years and then rebrand them and then never, and then pay me the licensing fee. I would play hardball with Disney. Why shouldn't you? If they need the money. If they're going to sell Lucasfilms, they are that desperate. But the other rumor was, and this was, again, going back to Doomcock, that they want to get rid of Kathleen Kennedy and they want to screw her out of her contract. And one way of doing that would be to sell Lucasfilms because then her contract would be somebody else's problems. So by selling Lucasfilms, she'd be along for the ride and the new owners probably would be like, oh, get out of here. And then they wouldn't have to pay her out. Like Disney wouldn't have to pay her like millions and millions of dollars on some golden parachute. The new buyer would have the option of like cratering her career and she'd be screwed out of money, which would be hilarious if it happened. If that happens, it'll be a great day. She's probably got, it's not like she's going to live under a bridge. She has millions of dollars, but it would be funny because I'm sure she would be out of her mind angry about it. Wouldn't you be if you were screwed out of millions of dollars just because the company sold your division out from under you? I'd be furious. Aurelius, my offer to buy it for $50 still stands. All of it? I don't know, man. That's $50. Think of all the popcorn you could eat with that $50. I say save your money. I say save it. Star Wars is done. Look, even if somebody does buy it and rebrands it or refixes it or whatever, it's done. Oh, got a lemon seed. It's done. It's over. It's over, Johnny. If anything's over, it's Star Wars. I mean, you'd have to tear the whole thing. It's a total teardown at this point. Star Wars. Same thing with Star Trek. Same thing with all the big franchises. Let them go. We'll make new ones. I have no... Look at Guardians of the Galaxy. I mean, that's not totally new because it was based on the comic book. But man, that first movie's so much fun. It's great. You could have started a whole TV series after those characters if you had done it right. The ability's there to start off a whole brand new adventure. Let Star Wars go, I say. Let it all go. Let Star Wars go. Star Trek... Marvel Comics, DC Comics, James Bond, let it all go. We'll start all new stuff. All new. You could bring back a character. You could do Mac Bolan, the Executioner. My God, there's like 300 books. More than that. Over 300 books for Mac Bolan, the Executioner. You could do movies from now until the end of time. He's got so many books. There's so much stuff out there that's good. I say do that. I say the new Hollywood, the parallel Hollywood has to be built. And it looks like Marky Mark and Mel Gibson are in the lead on that point. They've already started. Mel Gibson's already been making movies kind of out of the system. Their biggest problem, I think, will be getting distribution. That's going to be the big problem for them. Because if the studios actively go after them and try to quash them, so they have no distribution, that's going to be a real tough hill to crest. Because then they'll make the theaters afraid to do business with them. So they can't go in it too hard. They have to like slowly creep these movies out, get a big hit. What they really need is a big hit. You need a big hit that was made in Texas or Las Vegas, outside of Hollywood, that's just so big, nobody can ignore it, everybody wants to see it. And then when Hollywood comes knocking and says, oh, that's a great movie, it's a great hit, why don't you come here in LA and shoot the sequel? They got to be willing to say no. And they got to take them the proceeds from that and then build a studio, build a distribution model that makes sense. And some of that has to be a new model where they distribute online on a platform. So you got to have a platform of some kind, and a way to get to theaters outside the current system. Bleach Demon, new franchises? Are you mad? How else can the festering corpses of has-beens profit without hiring talent? Well, they'll have to try, Bleach Demon. They'll have to try. This used to happen all the time. They used to make cool movies all the time. I mean, they didn't all work, but sometimes they'd be cool. Parts of it would be cool. At least it'd be new. You look at a movie like Buckaroo Banzai, which was based on a book series. People still talk about that movie to this day. And can't for the life of me think of why Hollywood hasn't come out with a reboot to ruin that. But they haven't gotten around to it, I guess. But that was back in the day. They would make a movie like that, and if it didn't hit, they'd go on to the next thing. And even if you're a Buckaroo Banzai fan and you'd be disappointed by that maneuver, from a business standpoint, that made sense. You make movies to make money. The guys in Hollywood, they're not making anything to make money now. They make movies that lose millions and millions of dollars. For the amount of money Disney is spending on their big tentpole movies, they should have made 10 movies. But the problem is nobody's going to the theaters. So how do you make these millions, even if you split that up, even if you take a $200 million movie and split it into 10 movies, $20 million each, right? How do you make the money back on each one of those movies? In the old days, it was easy. You would just release them. That would be a year's worth of releasing, right? All different movies coming out in the theaters, and people went to see movies. Now, people are like, I'll wait. So how do you make money on the streaming platforms with those kinds of numbers, right? I mean, Disney just lost 4 million subscribers, and the rumor is they've been lying about their numbers, and I've been saying that for a while. I think they're all lying about their numbers. So how do you make money on the streaming platform then? You got to have millions and millions and millions of subscribers. And you got to make the content so good that they're, okay, I'm going to come see this thing. What they really need to do, I think, is adopt a more broad model in which they incorporate some of these young filmmakers or new filmmakers and finance them at least partially. And now, to some extent, Netflix does this very well. They go out and they acquire the rights to movies from foreign markets that have done great. So that Nomi Rapace movie, The Trip, was one of those acquisitions. That was a really good movie. And it probably did really well in Norway? Norway or Finland, I forget. So it probably hit there. Sisu, which came out, I still haven't seen. That looked great. Did well in Finland. It was a Finnish movie. And they released it here. I hope they put it on Netflix so I could watch it. So you could kind of do the same thing here with low-budget movies. I mean, literally movies that were only made for a couple of $1 million. You just buy the good ones. Or you finance a guy who can make a halfway decent movie. That system is broken. They're not doing that. They're not looking for talent. They're looking for IPs that are already established, and they buy them, and they expect the audience to show up because, hey, it's a big IP. It's big IP. We paid a lot of money for this. Come see it. Doesn't always work, and now people are sick of this stuff. So the big IPs are gone too. Forget about the celebrities. Where are the big IPs coming from? The big famous books, the big famous cartoons or TV shows, they've all been exploited. You have to dig deeper than that. You have to go and you have to do it based on the talent, based on looking at it. You need producers with vision. The one thing a producer needs, besides being able to hustle for money and organize things and all the regular producer skills, he needs a vision. He needs to be able to see something and go, yes, that will sell. That will sell. People will go see that movie, regardless of who's in it. So it's like when I was doing comics, and we would talk about doing t-shirts for comic book characters, and I would say, it has to be a t-shirt that people will buy simply because there's a cool character on the front, not because of the comic specifically. That the image was cool enough, right? So you might not buy a shirt that says the Pineys, but you probably would buy a shirt with a cool demon on it and a guy fighting it because it's a cool image. That's the idea. You want to pick things that are just cool, and you need producers with that vision to go, yes, this is a revenge film. People like those. This is a romance film. People like those in certain contexts. This is a comedy. It'll play in the United States, but nowhere else. And we'll spend, you spend a couple of mil on a comedy, but you spend 10 million on an action movie. That's the way you used to do it. Now, what are they doing? I mean, look at this list. Look at this list of nonsense. Transformers, Spider-Man, Little Mermaid, Guardians of the Galaxy, cartoon, comic. They're all cartoons. They're all live action stuff of things we saw 20, 30 years ago. And they were all better 20, 30 years ago. 9 times out of 10. So what are we doing here? The Boogeyman. It's an old Stephen King thing. The Fast X, the 10th installment of Fast and Furious. Super Mario Brothers movie. Cartoon video game. It's not until you get down to About My Father and the Machine, you get to an actual movie. Those are actual movies, because those are comedians who, they're doing movies based on their stand-up act. Oh, God, I'm about to sneeze. Ugh. Bleach Demon. Do you think it would be viable for a streaming service to go for the little indie movies as a short film contest, offer creatives a larger budget movie, and use the audience reaction to select the winner? Absolutely, it would, because it would cost them next to nothing. They would, and these guys would, if they had a real shot at it. If they had a real shot. Clint Miller, Death Wish, exactly. Death Wish, it's a wish fulfillment movie, really. They'll be making Death Wish movies non-stop in a few years. But yeah, what you just said, Bleach Demon, absolutely. That's the kind of things they could be doing and promoting. But they would have to promote them. They would have to invest some money in them. It's not no money, but it's not a lot of money. When you look at the budgets that Netflix has been blowing on things that no one watches, no one cares about. I mean, you could have taken the entire budget. They did a cartoon called Queer Force. No one asked for it. It was awful. It was one of the worst things I've ever seen on Netflix. A complete waste of money. I would have never greenlit that. I would have said, no, this is terrible, this is stupid, and it's not funny. You could have taken all the money you blew on that, and it had to be millions of dollars. It was a cartoon. Wanda Sykes was one of the voice. Millions of dollars. You could do the entire contest for the budget of that movie easily. You offer $1 million for the winner. You get $1 million budget for your next movie. You offer some cash prizes for the other guys. You spend a few $100,000 organizing the thing, hiring some people to do the legwork and watch the damn movies. Post them online, buy the rights, whatever you have to do. I don't know. There's a whole thing you'd have to do. What does it cost you? Maybe it costs you, I don't know, $10 million, maybe? And then you have all this content? Yeah, okay, all these guys get exposure. So what? Clint Miller, I'm gonna get you, sucker. That was a parody of Vigilante movies, and I love that movie. That's a fun movie. When Jim Brown slips on the bullets, lost my S watching that. I laughed so hard the first time I saw that. When he slips on the bullets, you got to see that movie. I mean, it's not great all the way through, but it's fun. Even that, like a comedy movie, like a sketch movie, you could build people up. MTV built up The State. And The State was Thomas Lennon and his writing partner, whose name I forget. Michael Ian Black was in it. A bunch of people, you would recognize them all. You would recognize almost everybody in The State now. They've been in everything. They're all in Reno 9/11, half of them. Joe Tartiglio. I can't think of all their names, but the guys in The State, almost every one of them works now. And they're real deals. And those guys don't get these big Hollywood offerings. They should. They're all talented. They've made serious movies. David Wayne, he directed the movie with Paul Rudd and Stifler. I can't think of the name of it. Where they become, as part of community service, they effed up and they have to do a community service with two kids, and one of them's McLovin. And they end up going to a LARPing at a fair, and it's a comedy movie. It's good. I think Elizabeth Banks is in it too. I forget what it was called. That was decent. That was directed by David Wayne. He's directed a few movies, and they've been pretty good. And they're funny. Like, why aren't you giving money to him? Why aren't you giving money to everybody in the state to direct movies? I mean, you have Hollywood. They've directed a few things and made a few movies. I think Thomas Lennon, and I can't think of the other guy's name, co-wrote Night at the Museum, if I'm not mistaken. And they're in it, too. They make cameos. But they're not the big names. They're in stuff. I don't know. And they made too many Reno 9/11s, although I do love it. I think they made too many of them. I don't know. It's like nobody in Hollywood knows what they're doing anymore. You got to make big stories for a movie. You got to make little stories for a TV show. And if you're going to go the streaming way, then I think you need to do one of two things. Either you have to put in content that's so incredible, people say, you have to watch this channel. Like HBO was like that for a while because you couldn't see TV where people were cursing and showing their nips. And that's why everybody bought HBO. It was cool. It was like, oh, this is cool. I've never seen TV like this before. Now it's everywhere. So it's not a cool thing anymore. I don't know what you could do. I mean, the quality would have to be through the roof. But you could have a different tier system where you have basically an internet TV show channel, a network, if you will, on the internet 24/7. It's just running stuff with commercials, and you can watch it whenever. And it has times for things, and you click on the guide, and you know when things are coming, and you can watch it. And if you miss it, you miss it. If you wanna not miss anything, you pay the fee, and the fee should be low. And then you pay one fee, and you still get some commercials. You pay the premium, and you get no commercials in anything, and you have access to the entire library. That's where it should have gone. The first company to do that, they'll make all the money. The only reason Netflix was successful, it was cheap and had a bunch of TV reruns on it that everybody wanted to see. That's the only reason, I think. None of the original stuff to this day is all that good. What original programming on Netflix is like, oh man, I gotta see that? I mean, The Gray Man, that was okay. It was a pretty big budget movie, but I mean, everything that I liked on Netflix was made in some other country, or they bought it. So anyhow, that's my rant. I'm going to wrap it here because it's been 2 hours. I'm going to thank everybody for tuning in. Thank you all. Any final thoughts? Any final Vigilante movies? Titles? Everybody go see Death Sentence with Kevin Bacon, apparently. Corey really likes that movie. And it sounds interesting. He really sold me on it. I may have to go watch it. Wonder where. It's probably on Amazon or something. Any final Vigilante movies you want to mention in the credits? You know, I do these live streams. I should do the research ahead of time. I figured the list would jog my memory. I mean, a lot of the stuff I did see. Death Wish, the first movie. First appearance of Jeff Goldblum, by the way, as one of the gang members. It's very funny. Bleach Demon. Great stream, as always. Glad I caught another. Thanks for coming in, Bleach Demon. Good to see you. Have a good night. All right. And on that note, I'll be back next week with more videos. Next Sunday, I should be on time for 7 o'clock. I am doing the Philly comic book show, but it's over at 4, so I should be home in plenty of time for that. Looking to the next week, I'm back on the Lotus Eaters doing my comments about pirates. Yard. Bleach Demon M is a kind of great vigilante movie. I'll have to look that up after the stream. I'll have to check that out. And of course, all the Clint Eastwood movies. If you haven't seen them, you really should. Especially the ones he directed. Good night, JC. And good night from Joan, who bailed. Oh, she's on the floor. She's been on the floor the whole time. Aw, little thing's tuckered out. You okay, Joan? You still breathing? Okay, good. You are. All right. We'll see you in the next one.